Hi everyone, this is Clint from Persuasive Evangelism, and today we're going to go over this book, Seeking Allah, Finding Jesus by Nabeel Qureshi. I'm at Lake Sacagawea, and there's the Washington Way Bridge on this cold winter day. So Nabeel Qureshi, he was a Muslim who became a Christian, and he has an amazing testimony. He actually died in, I believe, 2017 at the age of 34, I think, from cancer, leaving behind a wife and a kid. But 10 years before that, he became a Christian. For 10 years, he lived his life for Christ, preaching the good news, telling his testimony, teaching, and so on. He worked for RZIM's Ravi Zacharias organization, and this is about his conversion to Christianity. He came from a strong Muslim family, and basically he went to college, and he had a roommate who was a Christian, David Wood, who actually has a YouTube channel I follow called Act 17 Apologetics. I think that's it. But basically they became best friends, and then they started discussing their different faiths, and over the course of several years, going over basically first Christianity, going kind of debating on if Christianity was true or if Islam was true, going over like topics such as the New Testament, is the New Testament what we're reading now the same as the documents that were written 2,000 years ago? These documents, how close were they written by the eyewitnesses, and how close were they to the actual events? And then they talk about in Islam, there's no Trinity. They only believe in one God, Allah. So then they're talking about Jesus. I think in Islam, they don't believe Jesus was crucified. So they talk about, or discuss Jesus' crucifixion, if he was raised from the dead. Also, if he says that he was God, and so on. And then talked about the Trinity and so on. So back and forth debate. By the end of the debate on Christianity, Nabeel thought the evidence for Christianity was very strong. So then they focused the debate on Islam. So like the Quran, they say the Quran was Muhammad wrote dictated what I think the angel Gabriel said word for word, and it's never changed. And then so they looked at the evidence on that, like what sources do they have for the Quran? Was it changed? What was and so on. And then they focus on Muhammad. He was taught Muhammad's perfect, and just a perfect human basically. And then he went back and looked at the stories and so on, but back and forth. And he found some of the things he found were disturbing to his faith for Islam, and he found it wasn't as strong as Christianity. But even though converting from Islam to Christianity, that in some countries you can get killed for that, or your family or friends, or you can get hurt, or your family and friends will reject you, and so on. So it's a big thing, because you're basically what you grew up and believed, throwing that life away, and you could be rejected by your society. But so he still needed just this extra thing. Like intellectually, he thought Christianity was true, and found Islam was lacking in evidence, and some of the early stories were disturbing to him. So he asked God for a vision and 3 dreams, and God gave him a vision and 3 dreams, and he accepted Christ, and it changed his life. And then he preached the good news of Jesus for the next 10 years. I think he died around the time in 2017 when I came back to Christ, and I discovered him about a year or two later. And I was thinking, because he did some of his last talks were in Southern California, where I was living at the time. So I was thinking, if I'd come back to Christ earlier, maybe I could have gone to one of his talks and so on. But I'll get to meet him in heaven. But so this is a great resource that goes over the evidence and just his thinking. And when he mentioned he had a vision and dreams about Jesus and so on, I thought that was interesting. But there's another YouTube channel, I was following, and he gave his testimony. He was a Muslim that became a Christian. Same thing, he had a vision too, which got him going. And then since then I've heard more and more, like, a lot of Muslims that become Christians, they have dreams of Jesus, a man in white or something, and either it's at the beginning of their journey to Christ where they actually reach out to a Christian to help them explain what it means, or like when they're near the end of their journey to Christ, when they're, they're thinking about accepting Christ, but they just need this one extra thing, and then there's a dream or vision. So I heard from missionaries in the Middle East and so on that having dreams and visions about Christ in that area is common. So I thought that was interesting. But just go. This is great book. He has a good sense of humor, and just how he just went through the evidence intellectually, tackling each one and going into the Word, the Bible, and verses and so on. But I would totally recommend this book, Seeking Allah, Finding Jesus. And I totally would look him up on YouTube and look at some of his testimony that he gives. It's amazing testimony, him speaking live, and he answers tough questions from the audience, and teaches on other topics as well in the Bible. So totally recommend this. Nabeel Qureshi, Seeking Allah, Finding Jesus. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day. Goodbye. God bless.